So you might remember, guys, that I did a video on the Mantis Den enclosures, the acrylic enclosures. This is how they come. Pick these up at the Bristol show. And what I do, these ones are not for spider ones, these are just their normal arboreal kits for their mantises. So they come with the very, very small fly-proof ventilation. So what I do to alter these for tarantulas, especially things like the versicolor, is I add some drill holes, mark them out, lots of ventilation. There's 1 centimetre apart, 3 rows of 8, I believe, 3 rows of 7 actually, and then 3 rows of 5 at the bottom, some for the door, which you probably can't see, some for the door, and then some on the back as well. So that's what I mark up. The lid as well, it comes with this like mesh for the tarantulas, and what you do is squeeze that between and screw that on effectively to give you that lid. But I like to replace this piece with a solid acrylic piece like this that I then drill out holes in as well. I get these pre-made for the small ones. Sorry, this one is just under 90. Sorry, just under 100, just under 90, and the acrylic is 3mm thick, so order that online. You end up with these. So these are just custom cut pieces of perspex from a local company. I've got a few of the smaller ones. These will fit the tiny arboreal enclosures that we were talking about, which are small Mantis Den ones, which I should have probably had prepared, shouldn't I? These ones. So currently this is the setup. What happens is you squeeze the mesh through between these two pieces, and you put obviously the screws and nuts on them. What I do is I take this base, this piece, and I will drill the holes through here, clamp these together, drill the holes through here, and then mark out a lot of ventilation holes in here, and then bolt this together. And what you end up with is with this nice piece. This is bolted together. What I've done is I've drilled the holes and marked out, as you can probably see, these are 2 centimetre drill holes. There's a row of 6, and that is by 7. 1 centimetre apart, literally fits that lid perfectly. And then what that will do is that will now be the new lid for the spider enclosure with no horrible mesh. It lets a lot of light through. So I need to address something just quickly. I say horrible mesh holes. There's nothing wrong with the mesh that they use for Mantis Den. I do love these enclosures. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the mesh at all. What I mean is, for the spiders that like the versicolor, the avics and stuff like that, anything that's going to web up at the top and use it, you just don't want the mesh there. Well, I don't want the mesh there. I would much rather have a nice clear piece of acrylic that I haven't got to worry about their toes getting trapped, anything like that, just for them. The mesh is fine. Pokies, everything else, there's a lot of enclosures, the mesh is fine. It's even better than the Exo mesh that they use, but I just wanted to make that point. It's not horrible, there's nothing wrong with it. I just wanted to change it to make it look nicer for this species. Thanks. It looks a lot nicer, as you can see. It just looks really like clear, really good like viewing through that, and you've still got a lot of the ventilation. With these sides, what I did is, as I said, I was going to drill through a load of those. We have the door with all its drill holes through there. We have the backing, another door. I did 2 of the enclosures at the same time, another backing, and then we have the sides with all their ventilation holes through the top and through the bottom, just to give it that nice little through on there. And there's 4 of these. Like I said, I did 2 enclosures. So now it's just time to put this together and see what it looks like at the end. and we end up with this, which is effectively the Mantis Den arboreal enclosure with extra ventilation holes on all sides, as you can see, lovely and clear, and the roof looks pretty good. It sort of doesn't look like it's actually any different to what you'd expect to get as a package if you were looking at Spider one. Loads of ventilation at the top, space for it to web up without having any issues at all with getting caught in a mesh. Ventilation on the door as well, so you've got front, back, side and side, so having the low holes and the high holes lets the air sort of flow through it as well. So yeah, I think that came out pretty good. So just got to decide what we're putting in it. It's going to be the Versicolor, it's going to be for the Versicolor, this one, but I've had another look at her and I don't actually think she needs to go in this house yet. Decisions. So currently that's the new home that I'm looking at for Versi, and this is what Versi's in at the moment, the arboreal keeper. Now as you can see, size wise there's quite a bit more room, but upon reflection, having a look at the size, I thought she was slightly bigger than she is. Let's see if I can zoom in and get some focus on her. Where is she? Just in there. She's still like probably got another molt at least inside this before she does probably want to move on. You can see she's filled up some of these ventilation holes I've put in here with some dirt, but there's still plenty of ventilation at the top on this, so I don't think we need to worry about putting her in this enclosure just at this moment in time. Yeah, as you can see, she's going to be swallowed up, and she'll like it, but it'll be one of those ones where it's finding food's the issue. So it's not a case of she wouldn't be okay in there. I just want to make sure at the moment feeding goes straight in here onto her web, she gets her food, it's fine, and then she normally molts down here somewhere. Putting her in here, feeding's going to be a bit more interesting. I'll probably have to end up, you know, opening up and tongue feeding maybe. I don't really want to be doing that, so I'm going to give it a molt and see how she goes. I've made the enclosure now, so we've got that ready to go. Got a few enclosures back here for other projects. This one's going to be for the Pacnoda beetles, I think. It's a 30 by 30 by 45, and this one I just picked up because it was very cheap, and exo cubes are hard to come by. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, so I've built the enclosure. I'm going to leave it for a little while. I do have another one of these to put together, another one of these lids. Let me know what you think. Do you think I've got enough ventilation in there? Do you think the modifications are good? Do you think it's like a suitable enclosure for my Versi? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think. 80p this replacement cost per sheet, so I don't think you can go wrong with doing that. I'll post a link to the place I got them from. Obviously if you don't live in Essex you'd have to have delivery, but there's loads of any laser cutting place will be able to make you perspex cut to size. So let me know what you think, guys. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. It does sort of make me smile when I see new subscribers come along. And yeah, if you've got any other comments, then just let me know. I'm glad to hear feedback. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you next week.